Hey y'all, thanks for joining us today at Wrought Iron Farm. Today's going to be a quick video about the breakfast of champions, coffee. Just kidding. Today we're going to be talking about, it is the breakfast of champions, oh by the way. But today we're going to be talking about bone broth and how amazing this stuff is for your body. We make it here all the time. We have the Instapot, and we will make, I think it's like a gallon and a half each time. And we have 3 pounds of grass-fed organic bones, beef bones, and then we'll take some onions, some garlic, and salt and pepper and some water. You just pop it in this bad boy and you'll leave it on for about 4 hours or so and let it cool down. Pop it in the fridge and you know that you got awesome bone broth when you take it out in the morning and it's just a solid lump of gelatin. That's when you know that it's good stuff. But I'll get to it, and Annie will talk to you guys about the beneficial, properties of bone broth.
Awesome. Yeah, so we've been doing this for quite some time. You can certainly buy it in the store. We found that a lot of the bone broths we would buy in the store did not gel up at refrigerated temperatures, so we thought that it was just better to make our own. So we get, go ahead.
Can I cut in here? A lot of vitamins and stuff. Everybody always says there's a lot of vitamins and nutrients in the skins of onions, so I always throw the skins in also. But
yeah, because we're gonna strain it out. So bone broth, I guess the major things that it's associated with are like collagen. When you boil it, the collagen breaks down into gelatin and then some other proteins. And some of these benefits that, we're not doctors. There's not a lot of studies out quite yet, but some things that people report seeing benefits in are like skin health, joint health. Personally, I've seen some joint health stuff. Some people say that it helps them sleep. There's an amino acid in there. I think it's glycine. But I could be wrong about that. That helps with sleep if you have insomnia. And just with repairing your intestines, like, I want to say recently I heard that it's something like a very large percent, like 80% of your immune system is found in your intestines. So this helps to make sure that everything's functioning well. If you're somebody that might have like IBS, it would certainly help with that. Yeah, so Dennis just pretty much, we cut up the onion, the garlic, and we just keep the skins and everything with it because we're gonna strain it out later. So now here are the bones, and we get them from a local butcher. If you're gonna be getting the bones, you want to look for not marrow bones. Usually they'll divide them into marrow bones and soup bones. So the marrow bones are like long bones, and that has the marrow in it. But what we want for bone broth are actually the joints. It's going to have the connective tissues, and these are frozen. That's why they're all stuck together. We freeze it. Excuse me. But it'll have, when you get what's called soup bones, that's usually the joints. It's going to have the connective tissues, and that's what we want to boil and get all of the amino acids, the collagen, the gelatin. That's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. If you don't have an Instant Pot, you can definitely do it in either like a crock pot or on the stove. The Instant Pot just speeds up the process. If you're going to do it on the stove, you'd probably want to do like 24 to 48 hours. And I'm not sure, do you know, Dennis, for the crock pot, how long you'd do it?
I would think you'd probably do it about the same, 24 hours or so, to really let those bones and the collagen in the bones break down and the fats break down and get all that protein out of the bones and connective tissues. Can you hand me that picture right there? I'm gonna.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty cool, like after it's finished, you can tell that it's worked because the bones will be either they'll be real like chalky and kind of brittle. You can tell that like all the minerals and nutrients have been leached out into the solution. Or even sometimes they'll be like so soft you can just with your fingers like crumble them apart. It's pretty interesting.
A lot of times, like, we'll do 2 runs, like we'll run it for 4 hours and we'll get 1 thing of bone broth, and then if the bones are still really hard and dense and they're not brittle, then we'll run it again and we'll do a second run for 4 hours, and we've noticed that we get gelled bone broth both times. One good thing to do with the bones when you're done with them is, if you have chickens, you can give them to your chickens. They love it. That's a bunch of vitamins and minerals and nutrients for them. Also, we like to take the fat off of it when they're done to give it to the dogs, because we're cooking it in garlic and onions, and I heard that's really toxic for dogs, so I try to get the fat off. But then we give them a treat. We give them one of the bones. It just falls apart. They love it. So that's something you can do with the bones, or you can even compost them. All right, and just like that, 4 hours later, we're gonna have bone broth. We'll shoot a little video later on as we're straining it, and we'll show you what the finished product looks like, and yeah, we'll get to it then. All right, back to the bone broth. It's been going for a long time. It went for 4 hours. We let it cool down. You know when it's depressurized, because the thing back here, you want to get this in this little button back here falls and drops down, so you know that it's depressurized. So here's the money shot. Ta-da! And that is beautiful looking bone broth. So take it, and we have a colander here. I'm going to just put it in another pot. And I'll pour this. Watch out, it'll get you. Alright, let's see how these bones are. Oh yeah, see, these bones just fall apart now. I think we'll just do 1 run on this batch. But the chickens and dogs will love this. So Oh, I almost spilled the coffee back there. So, back here, this is instant coffee in a little pan, and inside is a Damascus chef knife I'm working on.
Ooh. What is the coffee for?
The coffee deepens the etch. So it's 15N20 and 1095 carbon steel. And the 1095 carbon steel, when you etch it with the coffee, it gets really dark and black, and the 15N20 stays really light. But anyways, that's a separate video. We're talking about bone broth. So this bone broth is awesome stuff for soups. We use it a lot in our soup. Like, say for instance, we do a cabbage soup with a tomato-based soup, and we'll use a bunch of bone broth in there, some ground beef, cabbage, and it's delicious. But we use it for soups. We also just throw it in a coffee mug in the morning sometimes, and we'll heat it up. And we do fasting, intermittent fasting. So sometimes when we're doing like a 24-hour fast, we skim the fat off the top, and then we just drink the broth during a fast. That helps out a lot. Just super good stuff. Look up bone broth benefits. Just Google it, and you'll find a ton of information about bone broth. You could add so much stuff to this. If you wanted to do carrots or celery, you could add that, leeks, whatever you want. If you add red pepper, like crushed red pepper or something like that, or jalapenos, habaneros, stuff like that, you get a lot of capsaicin, which is really good for joint and inflammation. The possibilities are endless. Like, this is the basic recipe of salt, pepper, garlic, onions, and bones with some water splashed in, and you go nuts. Tell us what you make with it. Make up a batch, send pictures, tell us what you made. It'd be awesome. But alright, that's it for this. We're just gonna put this in some jars, pop it in the fridge, and then have some in the morning. Alright, y'all. Thanks for joining us today at Wrought Iron Farm. We appreciate you, and stay good.